What's up guys, Rui here and welcome back to the channel. If you are coming from Patreon, then you are probably coming straight from the first video. But for the rest, this is the second part for NOTINLIST Level 3 collection. If this is the first video that you are watching, I would highly recommend you guys to check out the previous video that was released as we cover in depth on what this whole ideation of the brand is all about and how they are trying to infuse storytelling into their collection. This will give you a much better understanding on what is going on with this video, as we will be checking out all 5 different pieces that we'll be releasing for this collection drop. But before we continue to that further, this video is in partnership with NOTINLIST. So if you guys are interested in any of the pieces, all the links to them can be found down below in the description box. Also, if you guys are new to the channel or just haven't been subscribed yet, it would really mean the world to me if you guys can go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, as it really does help the channel out a long way. Also, if you guys are feeling generous and want to help support the channel in a much bigger way, I do have a Patreon page whereby at its lowest tier, it is only $8 a month. And all of it will go in helping me to pick up new filming equipments so that I can continue to improve the qualities of the videos for you all, as well as helping to keep the lights on this channel. This collection features a total of 5 pieces, and among them, 3 are actually redesigned and improvement towards their previous counterparts, alongside 2 new silhouettes. Since there is quite a bit to cover over here, I will be leaving timestamps down below in the description box so that you guys can just go ahead and jump into any of the pieces that you're interested in. Also, do note that all the pieces that I will be showcasing in today's videos are samples, so there may be some final changes, but I would say for the most part they are about 95% the same as the final product that you will receive. Starting things off, we have the least expensive piece in the collection, which is the Aero T-Shirt. This is actually an upgraded version towards the previous exoskeleton tee. When it comes to t-shirts, it is honestly something that's very difficult to innovate, because I feel like it's a piece that's already been perfected. Therefore, you don't really need to reinvent the wheel with something like this. However, I do see many times brands kind of try to overly innovate with kind of unnecessary gimmicks, which ends up just being pretty tacky looking. However, in my opinion, I really love the approach that NOTINLIST takes in their design language here. Sticking to is pretty much the same silhouette and design of the exoskeleton tee. It features 2 angular panels behind, mimicking the frame of an exoskeleton. It's made from Dacron fabric, which is a more rigid material, allowing the panels to have more structure and sharper edges. While it is purely an aesthetic thing, it does add a lot towards the visual of the t-shirt, and I feel like it does present a sense of maturity in design, in the sense it's not trying to do too much. The front has also been slightly redesigned, introducing a new panel pattern, and I really love this subtle angular design that they added at the bottom of the t-shirt. Overall, the design language goes for a more futuristic approach while still maintaining a sense of everyday wearability. In terms of the fit, it does have a very boxy cut, therefore it is a little shorter in terms of length-wise. I'm wearing a size 1 here, and for the most part, it does fit me perfectly. I love the slightly elongated sleeves, and the redesigned color wraps around the neck nicely, but it is potentially a tad short for my liking. Therefore, I think a size 2 here would have fit me perfectly length-wise. Besides the look, it is pretty much an upgrade in every aspect of it towards its predecessor. For one, the material here have been majorly improved upon. As someone who has been wearing the exoskeleton tee for a while now, the main fabric material is actually not very breathable, as it is a rather thick polyamide and cotton fabric blend. Hence, I could definitely feel the sweat building up inside even after wearing it for only a while. The new Aero T-Shirt now utilizes a much more breathable fabric, and I have actually been testing this piece out a ton, as it is the most suitable piece for the climate I live in. So trust me when I say that they truly hit the home run with this piece. It is incredibly comfortable to be worn out on a hot day, and hands down, in my opinion, it is even more comfortable than the massively popular Uniqlo U Airism t-shirts. One of the issues that I've heard from people who are not a fan of the Uniqlo Airism t-shirts is that the fabric consists of almost 50% polyester, hence it does have a more synthetic feel. With the Aero T-shirt, the fabric consists of almost 90% cotton, making it feel incredibly soft and skin friendly. Another major upgrade that they added is underneath the panels, there is now a layer of breathable mesh fabric for added ventilation, and this helps quite a bit to allow more airflow. This has to be my favorite detail, as it adds so much flavor reference towards the whole futuristic sci-fi vibe of Xora. It reminds me of how certain mecha have to kind of open up its panels, exposing the vents inside for additional cooling. Moving into a more appropriate piece for this winter season, we have the Waffle Hoodie. Being very similar to the previous engineer hoodie, this is a much more refined and simplified version, making it a fairly minimal piece that won't have much issue fitting into any wardrobe. In total, there are 3 different colors to choose from. You have the classic black, this very unique shade of blue called Tiffany, and finally, my favorite, which is the one featured in today's video, the Alpha colorway. In the past, the engineer hoodie was one of those pieces that I felt was rather underwhelming, and this was due to the fact that the factory that they were working with just did not have the proper craftsmanship and skill to produce them, causing a lot of issues such as uneven stitch lines and loose threading. I'm glad to announce that this new Waffle hoodie pretty much fixed all the past problems. Everything seems to be in line in terms of the craftsmanship and overall quality, giving the hoodie a very nice finishing. The fabric of the hoodie is made from a mid-weight cotton and not overly thick, making it still pretty wearable throughout the year. It does have an almost French terry-like cotton feel, giving it a towel-like material which feels incredibly cozy when being worn. The highlight of the hoodie has to be this waffle pattern that runs across the fabric, giving out a very nice texture and visual pattern. Overall, in terms of details, they kept it incredibly simple with just some minor design. Over on the hood, there's this splice cutting in the middle, and at the lower left, there's a NOTINLIST branded tag. It is made from a pretty solid piece of metal that gives out a more premium feeling. Moving towards the sleeves, it has still the same inverted cuffs as before, and finally over on the back you have a bit more design with the angular cutouts located around the shoulder area. The contrasting fabric color really adds a nice pop and visual towards the look of the hoodie. In terms of sizing, the one I'm wearing here is a size 1 and it fits me as intended. It's not truly meant to fit oversized, so just stick to your true size, but if you do like something a little bit more baggy, you definitely can go a size up. The third piece that we will be looking at is the newest release from NOTINLIST, which is the Berserk Trousers. This is a brand new silhouette and it is among one of the 2 bottoms that are being released for this collection. Overall, in terms of feature wise, I would consider this as a more basic and entry-level pair of pants, but it definitely does have its character of its own. Named after the manga series Berserk, the pants are actually inspired by the Berserker armor suit that is worn by Guts. That is why you can see all these different angular panels running across the pants, which resembles the different layers of the Berserker armor. It truly does give out this neo-medieval knight type of vibe, and I'm totally loving it. It is constructed using 2 primary fabrics, with the overall body being a mix of wool and polyester fabric, while the panelings are made from Dacron. I think it's a really nice attention to detail, as the Dacron fabric does have a slight shine, giving it some visual separation that helps to distinguish the patterns on the pants better. You have a standard array of storage space with 2 hand pockets and 2 back pockets. My favorite detail of the pants has to be the silver D-ring hardware that is attached onto the belt loops. Not only does it add some additional functionality, but it also helps to add that extra visual detail. The Berserk pants features a slimmer and straighter cutting that does flare out very slightly towards the bottom, with some additional angular patterns giving it a very futuristic vibe. I'm wearing a size 1 here in this video, and it is a tad too tight for my waist. I would suggest sticking true to size, and it's better to have it slightly more roomy around the waist area, as you can always just use a belt to fasten it. I personally think when it comes to styling this piece, it does look really good paired up with more formal attire like a button-down shirt or even blazers. Up next is another pair of pants that will be released alongside the Berserk Trousers, which are the ES2 Tactical Pants. It is basically almost the same as their previous version, but with slightly updated design and fabric materials. The overall silhouette here reminds me a little of a knight's armor, as over on the knee area, it's designed to have a more angular shape pointing outwards, resembling the kneecap plating of the armor. This is actually one of the areas that were redesigned to allow the pants to hold this shape better. Excuse me for nerding out so much, but I truly love all the references that they have included into their garment design. And I think it is very befitting, as if you are following the story of Xora, this alongside the ZK2 Down Jacket, which we will be taking a look at later, is actually part of one of the characters' outfits, who does belong to the Shadow Corp, and they are kind of or sort of the knight class in the story. So that's why I think it is really cool to see that all the knight references that are being put into the garments. One of the biggest changes are the redesign of the fastening mechanism. The previous version uses a built-in fitlock magnetic belt, while this new version utilizes a Velcro fastening system. They pretty much function the same here, as you can adjust the size of the waist rather easily, but I do think this system is slightly better as the magnetic buckle does automatically mold to your actual waist size due to it using an elastic band, hence you don't really have the option to have the pants on slightly looser if you want to. I'm wearing a size 1 here and it fits me perfectly. I do need to tighten the straps up just a little bit, but I like that I have a little room for adjustment. However, do note when it comes to the tactical pants, it is designed to be slightly longer. Therefore, my advice is to prioritize the length instead of the waist size. The overall cutting does lean more towards a straight and loose fitting, but towards the bottom of the pants there is a zipper that allows the lower portion to flare out, allowing you to play around with the silhouette a bit more. If you are going to style it this way, I do think it looks the best with platform shoes, as it kind of adds a bit more height separation between your feet and the ground, which allows you to kind of showcase the silhouette even more. Another area that was updated are the cargo pockets. It now has this extra tab extending out, and while it is mostly for aesthetic purposes, I find that it actually helps locate the cargo pockets a little bit better, as they are placed more towards the back of the pants in order to achieve a cleaner look on the front. I think this is one of the coolest details of the pants, as on the front it looks to be a regular trousers, but at the side view you have the cargo pocket sticking out the back, giving it this very cool angular design. Finally, similar to the Berserk Trousers, it is made using two different fabric materials. You have the main portion of the pants being constructed with a matte fabric and accompanied by this very leather-like material that highlights the details of the pants. On the side, the pants are said to be water resistant and windproof. However, this is actually a custom pair that prioritizes breathability instead. Therefore, the main fabric here is not water resistant. Fortunately, I was given a piece of sample material that will be used to construct the pants, and it does look to do a pretty decent job in repelling liquid. I also did test the leather-like material, as it will be the same as the final product, and although the water did not bead and fall off, it does seem to block water from entering as well. The last and also the flagship piece of this collection is the ZK2 Down Jacket, and man oh man, it is such an insane piece. I love it so incredibly much, and if only I get to enjoy the winter season more often, you can bet that I will be adding this piece into my collection. Again, this is a direct upgrade and improved version from their previous ZK Down Jacket that was released during the level 2 collection. While the ZK Down Jacket is a great jacket, it was just too complex to produce, as there was just too many parts involved. Version 2 here aims to simplify the process of production while kind of fine-tuning and improving the silhouette and material choices. Overall, this is still a seriously well-made jacket. Checking the details and silhouette up close, this is a rather interesting piece, as it is a crop puffer jacket. For some time now, I've always been interested in crop jackets, hence you could say there are some biasness towards my liking for this piece, but I do believe that crop jackets are making its round. There are quite a bit of features up its sleeve with this piece. Featuring a two-way zipper on the front, you can actually style this jacket two different ways. The first is the normal look, or you can also button the ends here, creating this triangle pattern on the front, which does mimic almost a ribcage silhouette. The ZK2 Down Jacket also brings back one of the most iconic designs from NOTINLIST, which are the extended panels on the sleeves. Pair this up with the rest of the angular designs found on the jacket, it gives out a mecha aesthetic, which I think pairs incredibly well with other functional wear. For sizing, I would suggest sticking true to size because it is a rather massive jacket, and with how bulky it is, you wouldn't really want it to fit overly oversized. In terms of pockets, there are a total of 4 two-hand pockets on the front of the jacket and towards the end of each sleeves. I find this to be particularly useful for storing my phone, and apparently you can also have your transport card inside, allowing you to just quickly scan the machine before hopping onto the public transport. Finally, there are a pair of straps inside the jacket which allows you to carry it on your back when not in use. This is a super nice inclusion, as this is a rather bulky jacket, hence being able to just carry it on your back frees up so much space for your hands. For those that are worried about the croppedness of the jacket not being able to keep you warm, I feel it shouldn't affect the wearability of it too much, as this time around the inside is lined with down feathers instead of cotton stuffing, making it softer and also having better heat insulation. Do note the finalized version will be utilizing a water resistant fabric that's very similar to the ES2 Tactical Pants, and inside there will be an additional layer of fabric to help prevent the down from potentially escaping out. Now take my word with a grain of salt, because I don't live in a country that has winter season, but depending on how you layer up, I feel it should be sufficient for most winter conditions out there. For example, with this outfit here, I'm wearing the Xora shoulder pocket sweater underneath it, and if I want to, I could have on another layer of thermals as well. And that is everything that's being released for this collection. Overall, I like that it kept it rather minimal and focused more instead on trying to improve the previous silhouettes instead of coming up with something completely new. This kind of allows them to go back to the drawing boards and fix their past mistakes, and I think compared to their previous collection, they have improved in almost every aspect. Hopefully, if you were curious in knowing more about any of these pieces, this video is able to help you to make a better decision. And if you are going to be picking something up from this collection, don't forget there is a 10% discount for those that come from this channel. Just use the promo code RUI10 before checking out. If you did find this video useful, then please do me a favor and hit the like button. And once again, if you guys are new to the channel or just haven't been subscribed yet, it would truly mean the world to me if you guys can go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. It's these little things that really does help to push the channel out to more people. That's all I have for today's video. Please do stay safe out there, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out. Baby, why the hesitation? 'Cause I know